Hello, I'm Leanne Spar. In this section, we will discuss addition and subtraction of fractions. The specific objectives we will cover are add and subtract like fractions, find the least common denominator, add and subtract unlike fractions. Now we will look at an example of adding fractions. Let's add the fractions 2/5 plus 1/5. When adding two fractions with the same denominator, you keep the denominator and add the numerators, 2 plus 1. And so 2/5 plus 1/5 is 3/5. Now we will define the least common denominator, and we will do an exercise in which we find the least common denominator. The least common denominator for two or more fractions is the smallest whole number that can be divided without remainder by all the denominators of the fractions. Now let's find the least common denominator using the method of prime numbers. We will use the method of prime numbers to find the least common denominator for the denominators 6, 8, 10, and 12. So we're going to list these denominators. And we're going to divide by prime numbers until only ones remain. So we will divide by 2. Two will go into 6 3 times, 2 goes into 8 4, 2 goes into 10 5 times, 2 goes into 12 6 times. We will divide again by 2 because some of these numbers are divisible by 2. If a number is not divisible by 2, we bring it up. So 3 is not divisible by 2, so we just bring the 3 up. 2 divides into 4 2 times. 2 does not divide into 5, so we bring the 5 up. 2 divides into 6 3 times. We can still divide by 2. 2 does not divide into 3, so we bring the 3 up. 2 divides into 2 one time. 2 does not divide into 5, so we bring the 5 up. 2 divides into 3. It does not divide into 3, so we bring the 3 up. We now go to our next prime because none of these numbers are divisible by 2, so we now divide by 3. 3 divides into 3 one time. 3 does not divide into 1, so we bring the 1 up. 3 does not divide into 5, so we bring the 5 up. 3 divides into 3 one time. Now the only prime left that we need to divide by is 5. So we divide this group of numbers by 5. 1 is not divisible by 5, so we bring the 1 up. Bring this 1 up. 5 divides into 5 one time. 5 does not divide into 1, so we bring the 1 up. And so we have only 1s remaining. So our least common denominator will be the product of all of the primes by which we have divided. So the least common denominator here will be 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 5. So the least common denominator for 6, 8, 10, and 12 is this number, which is 120. Now we will do an exercise and an application problem involving addition and subtraction of fractions. Let's add the following fractions, 5/6 plus 3/4 plus 5/8. In order to add these fractions, we need to find the least common denominator and rewrite each fraction using that denominator. The least common denominator here is 24. So in order to rewrite each fraction using a denominator of 24, we can say 6 divides into 24 4 times, and so this fraction is 5 times 4 over 24. 4 divides into 24 6 times, so this fraction is 3 times 6 over 24. 8 divides into 24 3 times, so this fraction is 5 times 3 over 24. Or we have 20 over 24 plus 18 over 24 plus 15 over 24. 20 plus 18 plus 15 over 24 is 53 over 24, which is an improper fraction, and we can write that as 53 divided by 24 is 2 5/24. Let's look at an application problem involving the addition and subtraction of fractions. The hydraulic system on a forklift contains 7/8 gallons of hydraulic fluid. A cracked seal resulted in a loss of 1/6 of a gallon of fluid in the morning and another 1/3 gallon in the afternoon. Find the amount of fluid remaining. We have 7/8 gallon in the beginning. We lost 1/6 of a gallon, so we subtract 1/6 of a gallon. And then we lost another 1/3 gallon, so we subtract 1/3 of a gallon. To subtract these fractions, we will need to get a common denominator. The least common denominator here is 24. So writing 7/8 over 24, 8 goes into 24 3 times. We have 7 times 3. Writing 1/6 over 24, 6 divides into 24 4 times, so we have 4 times 1. And writing 1/3 over 24, 3 divides into 24 8 times, so we have 8 times 1. And so what we have as a result is 21 over 24 minus 4 over 24, subtract 8 over 24. Subtracting these three fractions, we obtain 9 over 24 gallon. 9 over 24 needs to be reduced to lowest terms, so we divide numerator and denominator by the greatest common factor, which is 3, and we obtain 9 divided by 3 is 3, 24 divided by 3 is 8, so we obtained 3/8 gallon. So the amount of hydraulic fluid remaining in the tank is 3/8 gallon. So now in this section we have added and subtracted fractions and found the least common denominator. So now it's time for you to try and do some problems on your own.